I don't know how the heck I got invited to this. We play a very simple game. How many of you play golf? Okay, we're really going to relate. Only golf and baseball are games that are played, and you have to maintain your confidence in the face of assured failure. And that's how it works. I want to talk a little bit about baseball because it's not what it appears, like some things, and maybe in your world as well, but it's not what it appears. The most valuable thing about baseball is it creates adversity, and the young players that we work with in an educational system, the best in the world, the University of Texas, provides us with an opportunity to perform as a teacher. And that's what we end up being. I'm very thankful to Dr. Powers, President Powers, and to Lost Odds for providing all of the athletic teams, men's and women's, with the finest facilities and whatever we need to do the best job possible, similar to the way they function with the other departments on campus. So that's one thing we have in common. I do have to admit at this point in time that a friend of mine once told me, Augie, somewhere, sometime, you have to explain how proud you are to be working at a university that you never could have attended. And you have to use your confidence to overcome those fears, and one of the big ones is fear of failure. In this environment, it's what really separates the star players from high school from the ones that can play here and move on into professional baseball. They're all great players wherever they come from in any sport, men's and women's, when they come to the University of Texas. The difference is they're going to go into roles they've never had before. And when they get into those roles, how will they function as a person within the framework of the teamwork we're talking about? And so that becomes one of the many challenges and one of the many opportunities for us as the leaders or the teachers, the coaches, to communicate with them about the life skill lessons that are available through the game. And that's what makes the game important. It's a game of adversity. It just breaks people's heart. It really does. If you go to a Little League game, which maybe you get to, if you do, you can always pick out the grandparents and the parents of the pitcher. They're sitting in some fetal position, praying for a strike, you know. And being positive and motivating the players. I'm not sure how you motivate them, but I do understand this. I've been in a long time, obviously, and I'm asked frequently, how the players changed? And they have changed. We've all evolved. We're not the same today as we were yesterday. But evolution has taken its toll on the way our players are today versus the ones of yesteryear. Does that make them worse? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. In my opinion, parenting is better than it used to be across the board, and the players are coming out with more choices. They're curious, and the one thing that we have to provide is the leadership and the information to help them help themselves perform at a high level and be successful. That doesn't change in anything. It doesn't change in any type of business, I don't think. And the only difference is, I think, in our case, we have, well, let me tell a story first, because I don't want to lose this one. I'm here the first year, and we're out of practice, and Coach Royal comes up. Comes in the batting cage where I'm working, and he goes, how you gonna be, boy? I said, Coach, you know, we really have some good athletes, and we've got a real high-end potential. He kind of looked down at the ground, shook his head a little bit, looked back up, looked me right in the eyes, and says, you know that potential you're talking about right there? That's what gets your ass fired around. I really didn't know too much about what he meant. I do now. And I figured out why the geographical boundaries of Texas must be so large. You know why they have to be so big? My mom was from Texas, by the way, so it's to hold the opinions. You need a lot of room. I got 450,000 assistant coaches on email. Edith Roll gave me the best advice of my life. We were at ACL in the first year we were here, and we were lined up for a coat, and she says, I said, how did you deal with all this? She says, Augie, don't listen to him. She says, I told Daryl, those boys that get them a 12-pack of beer, start playing cards, start talking football after they get drunk, write you a letter, and you're a miserable wreck for 2 weeks. He said, don't take the email, don't take the letters, don't respond to them. Then they don't even sign them, she said. So I don't. I only the good ones. It's 3 or 4 a month. But anyway, you know, we talk about teamwork, and the ultimate reward in what we do is relationships. They're lifetime relationships. And I don't need to give any examples of that, but I can tell you how teamwork kind of gets away from us sometimes over material objects, and the example would be with a brilliant player here, Omar Quintanilla, who is still playing in the major leagues right now. And Omar's out of El Paso, and played a lot of baseball as a kid in Mexico and all of that, and pretty rough up, but just the best guy. Probably my favorite player ever. And so we get beat by Texas A&M on the last day of the season in 2002 in Disch-Falk Field, and it cost us the championship. So we talked to the team afterwards and told about getting ready for regionals and that kind of stuff, and don't worry about it, we'll bounce back. And I'm in this little office that used to exist there where Coach Gus used to hang out, and kind of got my head down and in my hand, and just kind of going like that. I thought everybody left. He comes in, sticks his head in, and he goes, Coach, you okay, man? Hey, yeah, Omar, I'm okay. You know, but right now suicide doesn't sound like such a bad idea. He said, can I have your Porsche? So much for teamwork in that. Something more important immediately in his mind. So you do have to keep it fun. It's a hard sport to keep down. It's a hard sport to play. They really confused the whole issue. They gave the ball to the defense. What's that about? I mean, football, they get to have the ball. We don't get to have a defensive team or an offensive team. They have one team, and they have to play both ways. So it's pretty confusing. It seems like a slow sport, but it's really very fast. The decision making for the hitter at a 90-mile-an-hour fastball is 4/100ths of a second. They've got to decide whether they can hit it or whether they can't. And if any of you follow the team, you know that we make hitting hard. It's difficult. So we had a good weekend though, 34 hits over the weekend, and moving in a good direction. And I think that, you know, as I think about this, and I think about what my Texas mother said to me one day, I've always had kind of this philosophical approach to finding out how we can make a difference. I don't know where it came from. It isn't my fault. It's just the way it is. So I look into things and try to find different answers. And much like if any of you researchers or whatever, you're looking for different ways to get it done. And in our business, it's all about human behavior. So at 21, I had graduated from college, first one in the family, been in and out of the Army, signed a professional contract, and then one day made more money than my dad did working on the shipyard for 30 years. I knew everything. I was 21 years old, and I knew everything. So it's Christmas, people are there, and I'm talking about something. And of course, it could have been anything from how to deal with China to, it didn't matter what the subject was, I had the answers. So my little old Texas mother was sitting behind me, and she only got to go to the 3rd grade. They were from Lubbock. They had a sharecropper's ranch up there, had 11 kids to pick the cotton. Dust Bowl depression teamed up on them. They moved out to California to start over. So I am an example of public school. I have all of you to thank. I really do. It's people like you and other people, business people that give to the community and give of their time, of their money, to promote education, to teach people that don't have an understanding of what knowledge can really do for you. You give them that hope. You provide the inspiration. You are the leaders in our society, and I can thank you for that. I wouldn't be here without people like you. And you don't know how many people you've helped. You don't get thanked enough. You don't get to look in their eyes and see how thankful they are. But maybe I can share that with you today, because I knew nothing about the importance of education until I met people like you. So it really, so I got to get back to my mom's comments. I almost lost those. What I was saying right there was more important to me anyway. But, to end this, she says, you know, boy, that philosophy you got going on right there, I find a line between that and bullshit. Whenever I think I know too much, I think about that. You get grounded real fast. I'll do a brief Q&A if that's okay, because I'd like to say something that matters to you. Anyone? Okay, that made it easy. Thank you.